What's happening, gamers? It's Steve from Drifter Gaming here again today, bringing you my review this time of Atomfall, a first-person survival game set in the world of northern England in the Lake District. Which, from my opinion, it's an absolutely beautiful part of the world, but obviously for the purposes of this video, it's a post-apocalyptic world set in a real-life 1960s nuclear disaster of wind scale. It gives you basically an alternative adventure as to what actually really happened. And in this review, I'm going to discuss what I liked about the game and what I didn't like about the game, and then give you an overall opinion whether you should buy it or not, effectively. To start off with, I want to talk a bit about the story. Now, the story sets you in a bunker where you wake up to a phone ringing, you pick up the phone, you get a mysterious voice on there, basically rambling on a load of sort of mumbo jumbo stuff, and basically not really giving you much information. It's then your job effectively to leave the bunker, explore the world around you, decipher everything that's going on, pick up as many clues as you can, try and basically become a detective effectively, listening to conversations, speaking to other characters, exploring different zones and different biomes to basically find out what has happened, what has caused this nuclear disaster, and why you're basically being held captive. The game will roughly take you 10 to 15 hours to beat. It's linear. It's got open areas to explore. It's not open world. I know there was a lot of talk before the release that it was going to be basically a Fallout clone. It's far from it. It's a completely different game to Fallout. So if you're expecting a Fallout experience, you'll probably be a bit disappointed. It's not gonna be Fallout. Um, but yeah, the story's not really the main part of the game. The story's okay, but it's not something that's basically gonna blow your socks off effectively. Like I say, it'll only take you 10 to 15 hours to beat the main story. If you rush it, you can do it a bit quicker. There are multiple endings. Something for any of your platinum trophy hunters to be aware of. There are multiple endings. You can, three quarters into the game, basically save your game and save scum your way through to a few different endings if you really want to. If you're going for the platinum, it'll probably take you around 25 hours to beat, I would imagine. I'd say roughly with the story, it's what you would sort of expect from a generic sort of experience. It's got its fun parts. It's got its parts where you just think, oh Christ, can we like speed this up a little bit? But what I want to do now, I want to move on to the good points that I found with the game, the bits that I really liked about it. To start with, the exploration. If there was one thing for me that would give you a vibe of Fallout, and that sort of wherever you go, you're gonna find some good loot that's gonna like basically level you up. It's definitely that. This is definitely it. It's a beautiful environment. Really does replicate how beautiful the Lake District is, and for anybody that's never been there, if ever you go on holiday in Britain, I would highly recommend go up to the Lake District. It's an absolutely beautiful place, and this game replicates that perfectly. It shows just obviously how much heart and love's gone into this game, and it really does shine through. Um, there's lots of lore that you can find within the world that will help you decipher what has happened and give you basically a general vibe as to what's going on within the world and how this has happened and basically who's behind it. With regards to the game, one thing that was really good that you don't get in a lot of sort of open area, open world sort of games now is crafting. Crafting equipment. There's tons and tons of crafting equipment throughout the world. You'll never go short of if you need to upgrade some bandages or anything like that. You can find it pretty much readily available. The only thing I would say to keep in mind is there's not a lot of ammo. You really will struggle. Like with this game, obviously I'll touch on it when I get to sort of the more negative points in the game. The combat's pretty much atrocious within this game. It's awful. Um, it really is something that if you can avoid it, you do. But that's one thing to keep in mind with the ammo. If you're gonna obviously try and go run and gun throughout this game, you're gonna struggle because there's not a lot of ammo you can use. So just keep that in mind. Um, the voice acting again was good, and it was accurate to sort of the area of the world of England that this game's set in. The sort of northern accents. For anyone that's watched Coronation Street or anything like that, you'll know what I mean. But it's that really sort of gritty northern tone that you get. Again, it's not a diss at anyone from the north of England. They're all lovely people, from what I've met anyway throughout my years of going up there. But yeah, it's definitely got that sort of tone to it that you can definitely tell you feel like you're in northern England as you're sort of adventuring through this place. The one thing I will say, it's got a really creepy atmosphere to the game. Like as soon as you leave the bunker and you're sort of exploring this world, you do feel like sort of at unease as to right what's around here, what's happened. It's got a really nice tone to the game, and it's definitely if they ever decide to make another follow up to this game, it's something I really hope they expand on because they knocked this one out of the park for the atmosphere. And to finish off really with the good points, I would say the multiple endings gives great replayability to the game, especially considering it's a short experience. It's not exactly an experience that's going to make you stick with it for hours on end. It's definitely something that I would say it's worth going through and doing the different sort of endings. It gives you a different outlook, and some of them are very, very wacky. It's definitely something that I would say is worth doing. Now, what I want to touch on now is the bad points, and it's worth remembering. I believe this is Rebellion's first sort of AA game where they're trying to sort of obviously make their name for themselves. So again, what I'm saying here, please don't let it put you off the game. I just stuff I want to make you all aware of. Just obviously just out of the interest of fairness, but again, please don't not support this team because they have made a good game here. But touching on it, uh, there are a few visual issues, i.e., stuttering. There's certain parts of the world that when you're exploring through, you will see a bit of stuttering in the distance and a bit of popping. Again, it's not a major issue, but it can break your immersion. I know I say that quite regularly, but I'm one that's very much when I play a game, I like to be fully immersed in it. Whatever game I'm playing, even if it's something as basic as FC25, I want to be immersed in the game that I'm playing. I don't like having that immersion broken. And this did break my immersion. So again, it was a little bit frustrating. It's not game breaking. It's not something that will kill your game. It's just something that it can be frustrating when you're playing it. The biggest flaw with this game, as I've said previously, was combat. The combat in this game is terrible. It really isn't good. The AI seems to take about 100 bullets and then eventually they'll go down. Yet if you go up to them and you throw a fist at them, they'll go down in one punch. It's really not balanced. It's very frustrating to play, and I found myself at times rather than trying to fight enemies, I would just avoid them at all costs because it's not worth it. It's not worth getting into it. It's just easy to avoid them and skip by them. It's something I hope with another patch that they can update and they can sort of get rid of this fault because it is disappointing. And obviously keeping in line with that, guns felt pointless. Like it didn't matter what sort of gun you had. They all felt pretty much powerless, no matter what enemy you was going up against, whether it was a raider, whether it was like a ghoul-like creature, or if it was just a random enemy. They felt powerless. It didn't matter whether it's a shotgun or a machine gun or a pistol. It felt powerless. The best weapon for me was a baseball bat. Sorry, not a baseball bat, a cricket bat. That was the best weapon for me. And when you're saying that's the best weapon over something like a machine gun, you can tell the game's not very well balanced, which is frustrating. One thing I did think, again, I wouldn't say this is necessarily a bad point. It's more a 50-50, if that makes sense, because for some people it'll be bad, other people will love it. Grid map references on the game. Now, when you pick up certain clues, it will give you like a grid map reference and it will say, go to this point here. And you have to look on your map, work out the grid map reference, and then go to there from there. Now, for anyone that isn't good at reading maps, you're going to struggle potentially with this game. You'll have to go onto settings and obviously get rid of it, which, to be fair to Rebellion, they did put a thing on there which you could pretty much remove the grid map references and then it would give you your usual standard sort of adventure point to go to. What I did like though is the fact for anybody that can get their heads around this, it gives you a lot more immersion because it actually makes you work for where you're trying to get to, rather than just like a typical Ubisoft game, for example, where the map's full of markers. This game actually makes you work to find out where you're going to, and I really did like that. I enjoyed it. It is something I want to make people aware of because I wouldn't want somebody to either download this on Game Pass or pick it up on a sale, end up playing it, getting 15, 20 minutes into it and going, oh no, I can't be hacking this. and then binning it off, when in reality you can just go into settings and click a switch and it turns it off. Um, and then lastly, really for the bad points, I want to say is sort of it touches on 2 points, which is one is the enemy appearance, and two is the same voice actors. Now I know it's a small studio, and I understand that budgets are limited, but it is frustrating when you're playing a game and you're coming across literally the same enemy type every single time. It felt like early sort of PS2 slash maybe PS3 360 era games where you're coming across the exact same enemy all the time. Maybe one enemy will sound a certain way now. In about 10 minutes, you'll find another enemy that sounds the exact same but looks a little bit different. And again, it burns it ruins, sorry, not burns, it ruins the immersion a little bit, and it frustrates you in the sense that when you play a game like this, you want to be fully immersed, you want to speak to different characters, you want to get their take on the world, why they're still in this sort of inclusion zone, what they know about what's happened, why they're there, what they can do to get away with it, get away from it rather. Not constantly speak to the exact same character with the exact same tone of voice, and it that can really frustrate you. But again, it's something that I hope if they do make a second Atomfall, that basically they can obviously work on that. And yeah, that's it for my bad points, really. I mean, overall, I enjoyed the game. I thought the game was fun. I thought obviously it's not a long drawn out game, which was good. I've just come off the back of obviously beating Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm now about to start Claire Expedition 33, which are both big games. I've got Death Stranding next month. It's something I quite enjoy, a sort of small linear game. I prefer that sometimes. It breaks it up a little bit rather than playing a long game after a long game after a long game, and I did enjoy that. The only frustration for me, like I say, it's more what they wanted to make the game and what the game ended up becoming. It really felt like it had more potential than what it ended up with. It's not a bad game by any means. It's definitely one that if you've got Game Pass, it should be a no-brainer. Pick it up, give it a crack and see how you get on. If it's one that you need to go out and spend 50, £60 on, I wouldn't recommend it. I would say wait until Black Friday, wait until Christmas, when everything's going to be a bit cheaper. Then I would say pick it up. But yeah, it's a good game. It is a good game. It's not a bad game by any means. It's just a sort of okay game. In a year where we seem to be getting banger after bang, this one didn't really hit the mark that I think we all felt it was going to. A lot of people, myself included, was hoping this was going to be more of like a Fallout type of game. I was hoping it was going to be sort of another Fallout. Obviously, it's not being that. It's not the end of the world that it's not that. But again, it is a little bit frustrating. But yeah, that's my thoughts, guys. Like I say, if you've got it on Game Pass, give it a download. There's no excuse not to. If you're going to pick it up physically, wait until it's on sale. That would be my recommendation. But yeah, as I always say, guys, I am still new to doing this. I am still learning my trade. Please let me know how I can improve, anything I can do to make these videos better for you, anything that you would recommend that I do differently. Leaving me a like helps, giving me a subscribe helps massively. Even leaving me a dislike helps, lets me understand what you do like and what you don't like. So please comment down below if you've played this game, if you're planning on playing this game, what your thoughts are in general on this game. And yeah, until next time, guys, thanks.